How do I design a mini house for myself? First condition: the construction area of the house must not be larger than 20 square meters. Second condition: the maximum permitted height of the building is 5 meters. Third condition: the roof can extend beyond the wall by a maximum of 1 meter but must not rest on the ground. The first step is to make a floor plan, based on which I can determine the partitions, furniture placement, and finally the locations of the windows. When arranging and drawing furniture and objects, it is very important to take their actual dimensions into account. Objects are often drawn too small. If necessary, use a ruler or work on graph paper. Next to the staircase, I plan to place the kitchen. Then comes the sofa, which is the largest piece of furniture, usually about 2 meters long and 0.8 meters wide. Once the furniture is in place, I can start drawing the windows. First, I draw a plan of the lower room. Now that the lower room is finished, I will draw a plan of the upper room next to it. Now that I know where the windows will be, I'll start drawing the outside of the house and see how it turns out, using perspective. Now I'd like to explain what perspective is and what it actually means. Perspective is a way of drawing that makes objects look three-dimensional on a flat surface. It helps show depth and distance, so things that are farther away appear smaller. There are different types of perspective. There is one-point perspective, where all lines lead to one vanishing point, and two-point perspective, where two vanishing points are used in the drawing. This two-point perspective is often used when drawing the corners of buildings. I also use two-point perspective when drawing my house. Now that we know which type of perspective we are using, we need to talk about the horizon line. The horizon line represents the viewer's eye level. It helps us place the vanishing points and keeps everything in the drawing proportional and realistic. With the horizon line set, I place the vanishing points, one on the left, one on the right. All the horizontal lines of the house will angle toward them. First, I draw the corner of the house as a vertical line. I don't know exactly how tall it will be yet, but it gives me a reference to start from. Since I chose the base of my house to be 3 by 6 meters, I'll start by drawing the shorter side, which is 3 meters. Then, using that as a reference, I'll draw the longer side, which should be twice as long, or 6 meters. Because the building can't be taller than 5 meters, I'm keeping the ceilings low at 2.3 meters. That leaves enough space to put a properly insulated roof on top. Because it's a mini house, I'll go with a flat roof. That lets me use the full allowed height and make the most of the space. Now that I've decided on a flat roof, I'll draw its top edge so that it follows the vanishing points. In two-point perspective, the edges of the roof also angle toward the left and right vanishing points, just like the walls. I'm now adding the windows and doors, following the layout from the plan I drew earlier. The top and bottom edges of each window and door go toward the vanishing points, so everything stays in perspective. Since all the houses nearby have gable roofs, I'm adding a small canopy to the walls of my mini house to make it look like it has a gable roof. To properly attach it, I first need to install support beams on the walls. Just a reminder, the roof can extend up to 1 meter beyond the walls, but it can't touch the ground. This way, the mini house maintains its proportions, the canopy looks like the building has a gable roof, and the support beams ensure that everything is stable. Next, I'll add the supporting beams under the canopy. These beams help hold it up and make sure it's properly attached to the walls, while keeping everything in perspective. Now I'm adding the siding on the walls, using the 2 vanishing points again. This gives the house texture and depth. After that, I'll add shadows to show sunlight coming from this side, so the front of the house is illuminated and the drawing looks more realistic. For a small mini house, it's always useful to have a large terrace. It gives plenty of extra space, especially if you're expecting guests. An added bonus is the hot tub at the edge of the terrace. Of course, the terrace also needs to be drawn using the 2 vanishing points, so it stays in perspective with the rest of the house. When drawing the trees and bushes, it's important to keep perspective and shadows in mind. The landscape shows how the house fits into its surroundings and gives an idea of how the area could be landscaped later. Experience shows that when you really dream about something and draw it on paper, later you often notice that the reality has fulfilled your vision, even sometimes more than you expected. Drawing in perspective helps you get a real sense of the building and see what works and what doesn't. It also lets you create a realistic picture to show others, so they can understand your vision. Additionally, drawing the landscape shows how the house fits into its surroundings and how the area could be planned. If you dream about something and put those ideas on paper, those dreams can actually come true. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.